Hi everyone. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my facial muscles, parts of my face like my forehead, my cheeks, my lips, and how certain areas of the face I found that they are connected to certain emotional like patterns or like information that's stored within me. Where I was looking at how at the end of last video, at the last second, I had this expression like, and I just really enjoyed making that face. And then so afterwards, I kept on like doing that face and taking a picture of that, and I noticed how my face changed when I imagined like other people. If other people were here watching me, would I be able to make that face? And I found that I wasn't able to. Like it was like, okay, let me try to do it again if possible. Okay, so I had like this face like this, and then when I imagine that people were looking at me, if I try making that face, this is the face I make. It's like I hold it back or it doesn't really show. Like I'm trying to do like the same face, but it's just like automatically I just suppress like the muscles like constrict or don't move. And then if I really were to just let it take over me, like not do anything, my face goes like this, like melts apart. Like really, people are like looking at me like, and me trying to express myself. So there's definitely a difference when I'm by myself doing this and when there's other people. And what I noticed too is that after I brought in this imagination of people being here, when I tried to do the face again, it was more difficult. Like I didn't express my forehead as much. And so it does have a lasting effect. It's not just, oh, when people are here or not here, I carry that within me. That's what it's about. So that's why like it's always here within me, this point of suppression. And there's always been just and it's only always just been a few rare moments in my life where I do express myself naturally, which was in relationships with people and those very unique, intimate moments where I feel like they accepted me and they're here for me, and so I was able to express myself with them. But even then, it was just for a few rare moments with them, and still I carried, let's say, that weight with me. So I wasn't really, I couldn't really, let's say, be myself even with them. Um, Also, of course, not with myself alone, even. So here I'm opening up this point for myself and looking at, okay, what is going on here? Like, what's going on with the face? Like, is there emotion in my face, for example? And yesterday I was looking at this point, and I found that with faces, I can sort of, let's say, exaggerate a face of parts of my face that reveal the emotion that is there. For example, with my forehead, I feel like my forehead's like going down. So if I were to really like express that emotion, what would that be? It'd be this kind of face, like kind of like a dullness, a stupor. And then if there's another face here where it's like this, where my eyebrows once like raise up, where for example I was trying to express my face, I found that my eyebrows were like this. Like look, it's like this point here of like these eyebrows up here. Like if you see my forehead here, it's like this kind of face. It's like I've seen people do that expression as well, where they raise their eyebrows up like this, the forehead up, and I see that within myself, and I immediately feel this because I've always had this weird experience with my third eye here, my forehead in the center right here, and I realize now that this has to do with it's obviously a face of like fear, of like anxiety, of like nervousness, of not being sure of yourself, of doubt, and thinking about other people are gonna say, and like worry. It's all those emotions are in that facial expression. Here, I'm trying to do it more and more. Like, yeah, look at this face. So I mean, I've made this face before, and I felt this anxiety, nervousness, my forehead feeling weird like this. So that's what I see that now. That's what I see. And there's another facial expression, two more I remember now. The first one is like this, where my forehead goes in like this. It squishes everything that goes together like this. It moves in. Or it's also the same point of like feeling doubt, of feeling like weird, worried, anxious, not sure of myself. And after I do these faces, it's like I feel the the memory of that still there. I still feel like the tingling sensation in my forehead. I still feel the energy. I can like almost like feel the emotion involved within that, and it's like a residue. It's like still there. So when I was doing my faces again yesterday, I was trying to do the face I like to do, which is for me is like fun. This face, like you notice here, this eyebrow. This eyebrow doesn't want to go up. This one does very easily. But this one like almost wants to stay down. I have to like push myself in order to even express my face, and it keeps wanting to go up in the middle again. So it's like almost like a habit or like a memory that is persistent, and like it tries to push itself to be here. This anxiety, this fear, this worry, this doubt, all these emotions, it tries to continue to stay alive in a way. And only like when I try to do this technique of just like sort of emptying my face, just like completely relaxing, try like a neutral face, right? And then from there, like, express. Then I had like more success like that. But yeah, so it's kind of reminds me of like forgiveness, where you release in a way, you release everything, and then you live. Then you apply yourself. So it's kind of that thing. Okay, and then the other face that I found was, I always noticed with my lips, there's always been some moments in my life where when I was really sad about something, like automatically I just felt like the weight of my lips right here went straight down. You can see my eyes and eyebrows too a bit. Like literally I just felt like I couldn't lift let's say the corners of my lips. I couldn't lift it whatsoever. I was always like pulling myself down. Moments of like really of like being sad, and especially like talking with someone, being there with someone. I don't know, just that moment. I mean, it's a very clear moment for me. I remember that, and I remember feeling how my it just felt so weird with my lips right here, like it would just stay down, and I never forgot that. I never forgot that. So, what else? So yeah, so it's like as if muscles and everything involved, and there's more specific muscles I'm looking at, like lifting, like if I were to lift my whole face, the motion of lifting up, like lifting of this side upwards. I don't know, just different things where, in a way, like you notice a lot of my facial expressions, they were like a weight pulling downwards. So that's why my face is always like a weight pulling downwards. And then I would have like a few expressions like this, where it just raises up a bit. But it's like really like a stuck expression. It's always like that. It's always been like stuck like that. I mean, I remember too when I was a kid, like really young, like 6 or 5 or 4. I would always like smiling a lot. I was like really happy. I remember that, and that's what I'm trying not to to live again within my face. And when I do that point, when I remember that point of like how I smiled, there's like an enjoyment there of smiling. And so I'm trying to do that now, to actually make that point real again within me. And that's why all these facial expressions I've been talking about of all these emotions, anxiety, worry, fear, sadness, these were all like resistance points within my expression, because when I try to express, let's say, happiness or whatever, excitement or enjoyment, it's like it goes the opposite direction. So it's like almost like a polarity in that sense, where it's kind of fighting each other. So yeah, I'm doing things like just keep smiling, keep practicing, see if I can stop, and then like neutral face, and then do it again. And it's also probably involving some muscle work, because I'm using muscles I really didn't use so much. So I'm aware that's possible too. But besides that, I'm looking at the actual resistance, the polarities, the parts of my muscles which are stuck. So yeah. um, yeah. So that's what I wanted to do in this vlog. I think I covered every single point I've worked with so far. And yeah, I just keep on practicing and learning and exploring my face. Try to find expressions I like to do and that I enjoy. I've been doing this cool technique on my Facebook where every single day I take a photo of myself and I post it online. There were a few days where I didn't post it online, but I did take photos for myself personally. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks or so, where I've been just taking photos of myself, seeing my expression, opening up my eyes, So it's been a cool process, and I can see how my face has changed. I can see how my face has been. For all my photos on Facebook, I've never deleted them. I've always kept them because I see it's important to keep a record, keep a history of who you are. So that's what I've done. And so anyone can look at my Facebook photos from 2008, which was the first time I started Facebook. And yeah. So I did that recently, where I looked at all my old photos and I saw how my face was. And yeah, and for me personally, I'm the only one who really knows what it's like to be me and have been me. And I can, even in my old photos, I can still see that light within me where, I remember what it was like to be really young, 6 or 5. I remember that, and I never really forgot that. And I always know that's within me. But someone else who's not me won't be able to see that in my face. But I remember, what I've lived. I know it. So that's what I remember when I look at my old photos. I know where I've come from. I know what I've actually lived from a young age. And yeah, it's really a personal relationship with myself. I notice where I'm the only one who really knows. And that's interesting. So yeah, so work on yourselves, form a relationship with yourself where you understand yourself, and only you can really do that. Only you can really lead yourself. And that's a word I learned recently, leading myself, where if you remember from my last videos, if you've seen it, how there's this point of looking for this charismatic leader type person, and how now with that point I realize that I have to lead myself within that. So I know I've said this point before, I know I've lived this point before to an extent, but really it's more in an absolute sense now, where within more context. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So yeah. Okay, have fun. Bye.